Are we live? Yeah. This is Jana Manuelpillai for the Noble Sage Art Gallery. Thank you all for tuning in today to this 3 p.m. insight into one artwork from the collection. It's a bit of a special one today because we've got some slightly sad news, which is that a client of mine and a friend of the gallery for the last 14 years, I was just looking on my records, and she bought one of the first works ever from my gallery 2 months after my opening. A lady called Marilyn Rushton sadly has passed away in the last few days. We don't know whether it is due to the virus, but I suspect it is actually. But it's very sad news, and the gallery will really miss her. She's bought, I think, nearly 10 or 11 works of art from the gallery since 2006, over the last 14 years. So it's really, it is pretty sad news actually, and I just told my colleague Christina, who must be watching as well, about it, and we were both very upset because we've got lots of fond memories of working with Marilyn at the gallery. And in fact, I only saw her 4 weeks ago when she came to my last show. So it's very sad news. Anyway, I wanted to start by I wanted to look at an artwork that was by an artist who was a favourite of Marilyn, called Athiveerapandian, who did this abstract painting here. I'm going to be bringing the phone closer soon so you can have a look. I just wanted to talk about it in its kind of entirety first. I've been showing Athiveerapandian and his abstract paintings since 2006. He was on the front cover of my first exhibition, and Marilyn came in and immediately loved his work, and I think she bought the 7th canvas I ever had from him, just after the turning point when his work stopped being very flat colour, pure colour, and started taking these leaps forward into something much more dramatic, something much more kind of orchestral and visceral on the canvas. So she bought one of those very early works at that turning pivot point in his early career, and I've been showing him ever since. She bought a work, I think it was about this size, actually about the same size as this. She bought it very early on, and Athiveerapandian's prices have now are 5 times more expensive today, 14 years later. So, you know, she was one of the first people who had a great eye for good quality work, and she bought from many galleries. She was a big ambassador for Indian contemporary art. She was one of the first purchasers of K.M. Adimoolam, and that's why she was drawn to T. Athiveerapandian, my abstract artist, because she saw some of that same quality in his work. She bought lots of Indian art, and I was really, really very privileged and honoured when I was able to sell work into her collection from my own gallery to hang alongside some of the big names that she has shown in her home. And yeah, she will be sorely missed, and I thought in her honour I will talk about this work by T. Athiveerapandian. As you can see, it's fully abstract, but I always talk about his starting point, Athiveerapandian's starting point, because he started with an appreciation of nature in his work. So he started with he would go out into the countryside in Kerala, in Chennai, and he would be absorbing all the kind of the foliage and the jungle and the colours of the rural landscape, absorbing it, and then it would be feeding into his work, into his abstract work, and coming out in these kind of very dramatic abstract canvases. And I think I should take you off that tripod so that you can get a better look at this painting, so that'll be better for you. I'm just going to take you off this tripod. Okay. Turn you around. Okay, so let's have a look. Let me stand right back, and everyone's been telling me that it's nicer to stand back. So let's have a look at this canvas from really far back. This is as far back as I can go, I'm afraid. but I think you can get a sense of it. This is a if I remember right, 2012 canvas by Athiveerapandian. I just want to get close so you can really enjoy the skill and the colour of this canvas. Have a look at some of this paintwork. I don't want to fall down the stairs while I'm showing you this. That'll be very sad. So just look at the way that he uses a textural effect on this canvas. Really going in strong, often with a palette knife, with rags, with his hands. It feels almost like he's carving out this colour. There's a shape here which is probably the most nature inspired, that shape there, which I always call this kind of blossoming shape, which often appears central in his abstracts, and it's almost like a tulip or some kind of flower that's blossoming upwards. Athiveerapandian came here some time back now with his wife and came for the solo show that I had, and Marilyn met him there, and it was lovely to see them meet, because Marilyn was one of the first people to ever buy Athiveerapandian's work. So it was just really nice. It's one of the perks of being an art dealer, is bringing artists and their collectors together. Just have a look at these. I mean, it's like you're looking through different tissue paper and you're seeing all these different colours coming through, luminous and dramatic. And look at that purple. It's gorgeous purple. And you get a real sense. Let's get close and see these marks. Look at this. Look at this scratch. I mean, that's a scratch straight through into the canvas. And look at these gritty, real mark making with the brush. It's really something special. And you leave nature behind. You start as a starting point, nature, and then he just uses it as a starting point, and then he moves out from that into these kind of fantastic colours, terracotta reds, or these pastely terracotta colours, or creams, yellows, greens, and a little bit of purple we saw before. But for me, it's always when in a canvas like this, it's these moments in the work where you've got marks that are just dashes and almost strikes to the canvas with paint. And I love that about this work. It's just awesome, and they frame up so well. I remember Marilyn did a small talk or a kind of an introduction to his work, I think, at the solo show. And it was just really nice to have one of the first collectors who ever bought Athiveerapandian's work say a few words. It was a nice moment, and she was a lecturer, and so it was lovely to hear her, as erudite as she was. I love this. It's so nice to get up close. I mean, some areas look like Basquiat or someone like that. There's almost, it's just so gritty. I love it. I'm just going to go up the stairs so you can just see it from an angle again. It really catches the light well. It's a gorgeous work. Do let me know what you think of it. I'm thinking of moving these talks. I'm just going to turn this around now. I'm thinking of moving these talks to 5 p.m. daily because I know a lot more people wanted to take part and to watch. And so I'm thinking of moving it to 5 o'clock, and please let me know whether that would suit you. it's just a little bit later in the day. I think a few people will be clocking off work a bit early and maybe free to join the discussion and to join the live feed. Let me know what you think of that time. I know I've got some regulars now watching. Please let me know if 5 o'clock works for you weekdays. I think it would work for me because it's before dinner, and then I can get it done quickly before going off to have my food. But let me know what you think. Thanks a lot for joining me, and yeah, I've dedicated this live feed to Marilyn Rushton, my client who passed away recently. Rest in peace, Marilyn.